same unpleasant dream.
My father's a lot of unpleasant things, and murder is not one of them.
Vogons are one of the most unpleasant races in the galaxy.
And enable us to avoid any unpleasant
Didn't you notice an unpleasant smell of mendacity in this room?
It's very unpleasant to him.
Do you share any of my feelings, or is this just an unpleasant embarrassment?
Did you do anything too unpleasant?
You were intelligent enough to visualize the unpleasant experiences ahead of you.
Unpleasant name is...
There's been a slight unpleasantness between him and Miss...
We'll put the boob back in the boob tube. Same unpleasant dream.
It was likely somebody was going to get away with murder.
My father's a lot of unpleasant things, and murder is not one of them.
But he is a liar. We've established that.
Vogons.
Vogons are one of the most unpleasant races in the galaxy. Not evil, but bad-tempered, bureaucratic...
Sure that we can work out an arrangement which will be mutually beneficial and enable us to avoid any unpleasant confrontations. As a token of my...
What about you, sister woman? Didn't you notice an unpleasant smell of mendacity in this room?
Big Dad, I don't even know what that is.
You smell...
I did the talking mostly. I was very unpleasant to him. So I told him straight that he was too big. I told him that every...
Poor hand.
But how about you? Do you share any of my feelings, or is this just an unpleasant embarrassment to you?
I can't say anything.
Well, please be candid. I don't want you to...
Well, I wouldn't want you to do anything too unpleasant.
I do it for you.
As an educated man, surely you were intelligent enough to visualize the unpleasant experiences ahead of you.
You understand, Aldrich? When Herr Gruber says...
Thank you. Digestive biscuits. Unpleasant name, isn't it? I always call them diggy biscuits.
Come in. It's about Robert, sir. There's been a slight unpleasantness between him and Mrs. Danvers.
Oh, dear.
Robert is very upset.
Reason they were punished. My aunt is a stupid woman. What she said was unpleasant, but it was only said to annoy me. It meant nothing more than that.
What do you think Mrs. Mortimer meant by all that?
After the war, there had been some unpleasantness. It was a bad time.
You've been cleared, by the way. Thought we'd get that bit of unpleasantness dealt with first. Cleared for what? Of what? Murder
Oh, well, that is unpleasant.
There's my place.
All the older women like and admire you. They want to help.
I know, as long as they don't hear anything unpleasant. Does no one here want to know?
Than any of us. Her father's trial, the fact that being human and honest about something unpleasant could make her more popular than ever, it shook us.
I gather.
Oh, I cared too much. Life was just such an unpleasant experience for the man. I'd be a liar to say I wasn't glad when he was relieved of it.
That we thought he was a bit of a posh tosser.
Yeah,
I didn't like him.
He seemed unpleasant.
You know what? He is now...
Arrest McCruskey.
If I miss this date, I am going to be very unpleasant to work with.
He's been disemboweled.
Process is an unpleasant one for us.
What way is it unpleasant?
It's a pain.
Oh, yes. The next point is somewhat unpleasant for all concerned, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to tell you that we feel the position of the bridge was fixed.
Think about it. I understand this discussion is a little unpleasant for you, but it is my duty to prepare you psychologically for all...
French? Where are they from? Who are they?
All you need to know right now is that they're very unpleasant.
You've done this kind of thing before?
Maybe it's my own sense of guilt, but I have an unpleasant feeling I'm going to be made to pay the piper for what I'm doing tonight.
I just want to apologize for that unpleasant scene a little earlier. My friend...
So I have news. A fresh little unpleasantness has arisen. But I've spoken to your superiors, and now that we're...
And you were worried this was going to be unpleasant? The answer is simple. Just tell Mr.
I suppose he died without one. It's been pretty unpleasant. Of course, a lot of us check out without having...
Oh, God, this is going to be very unpleasant.
Set us free!
Shut up! If you're wrong, Benson, my revenge will be slow and unpleasant. I will turn you inside out over a very long...
Well, we're having the discussion now. Look, Oz, this doesn't have to be unpleasant.
Homer, with all...
Put him away!
Molly!
It's just as unpleasant for me as it is for you.
We've got a brother and sister here, Molly. Need a room.
It's a horrible feeling. I can see it's unpleasant. But like all feelings, it will surely pass.
I deeply apologize.
No need. He's my most obnoxious servant, and it was good to see him do something selfless.
That institute in Zurich.
That is so. And you have been saying so many unpleasant things about me to people of influence and position.
There isn't the slightest reason why my daughter should be dragged into this unpleasant business.
What business?
I'm a police and...
Would be their agent, James Bond.
Let his death be a particularly unpleasant and humiliating one.
Good. I shall put my...
We'll have business tonight, Mrs. Lord. Unpleasant business.
I don't care anymore.
No, I was just kind of a prick. I think he was too. I was unteachable. I don't think I was actively unpleasant in class.
Really?
You're pretty unpleasant.
But I don't have a place.
I don't want any more unpleasantness at the hotel.
Yes, sir.
Tolerated. None of this unpleasantness would be tolerated.
You know, sir,
Oh, golly. I'm afraid we have a potentially unpleasant situation on our hands here. Phil, would you repeat to Mr. Mellon?
Is there nothing you won't say?
I'm sorry, you're nauseous. I said that must be unpleasant. I want the amendment to pass.
Because I know you. I know this unpleasantness is eating at you, and you're determined to do something about it.
Well, it's a hell of a D-Day, that's all I can say. To be honest with you, Charlie, there's something very unpleasant about this little deceit you're pulling on the Navy. You've been...
up. Eventually I'll succeed, and all this unpleasantness will be seen as nothing more than birth pangs, I'm sure.
GL in front of it doesn't make it any better. Calling him Gladolf Hitler wouldn't suddenly make you forget all the unpleasantness.
There's not a soul who'll know him there. Now, I don't want to harp on unpleasant matters, you know that. But you do know what can happen to him.
An unfortunate husband of one of Pastor John's flock took a gun to his head. Most unpleasant. Mr. Angel, please.
So it seems you've discovered your unpleasant nature.
How are you?
We might...
Through there. Good, good. Now, should anything unpleasant occur in the visitation area, we ask you to stay put. And please, follow.
It's official business. I'm afraid a bit unpleasant, but something I think you ought to see.
That you wanted to see me, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant. Looks as if we have a pretty unpleasant thing in our hands in a few hours, doesn't it?
You mean the execution, sir?
Yes, I mean the execution.
Well, I can't go back to Hot Dog Castle right now because things just got very unpleasant there. Okay, well,